Welcome back to Red vs. Blue episode summaries. Today, I'll be doing episode 19, Last One Out, Hit the Lights. The full beginning riff of the Blood Gulch Chronicles plays in the background as Griff and Simmons stand in their exact positions from the beginning of episode 1, with Simmons once again asking Griff the infamous line, "You ever wonder why we're here?" With Griff this time depressingly responding that he never, ever wonders why they're here, angrily mentioning a religious quote of some sort as a joke. This conversation is then interrupted by Lopez, who is standing behind Griff and Simmons, shouting Higa Hergert, just like Sarge did as Church, who had arrived at Red Base, possesses him. Lopez's sudden noise alerts Griff and Simmons, leading Simmons to ask Griff what he thinks is wrong with Lopez, with Griff continuing to act depressed, replying that he doesn't care. Simmons tries to ask Lopez what's wrong directly, with Church attempting to respond by explaining that he has a warning, before stopping when he shockingly realizes he's speaking Spanish, not knowing how that was possible since he didn't know any. He tried to continue his warning anyway, explaining that Tex was fixing the tank and coming to kill them, referring to her as the mean lady, but of course all that came out was still Spanish. Meanwhile, Tucker and Caboose were still on the cliff, observing Tex's progress on Sheila. Tucker noticed that Tex was almost done, so decided that someone should radio Church to notify him. This led Caboose to start begging Tucker to allow him to radio Church, really wanting to use his radio for once, repeating, "Tucker, Tucker, please, please," many times. Tucker, annoyed after less than 5 seconds, gave in, allowing Caboose to radio Church. Caboose sincerely thanked him, turning on his radio, telling Church that he was calling for him, calling himself Private O'Malley, Church's close personal friend. This immensely confused Tucker, who questioned Caboose if his name was actually O'Malley, why he went by Caboose. Caboose explained that he never actually said his name was Caboose, and Church and Tucker just started calling him that out of nowhere. This made even less sense to Tucker, as he didn't remember giving Caboose a nickname other than Rookie, so he further questioned Caboose, asking why he didn't correct them when he called him the wrong name in the first place then, with Caboose weirdly shrugging off the question by simply saying he didn't want to be difficult. Caboose then resumed attempting to radio Church, who still hadn't picked up, explaining how Tex had almost fixed the tank. He said it in a very professional way, though, wanting to impress Church, stating, "Soldier Unit Tex almost had the armored vehicle situation rectified," but, being dumb as he is, failed to be fully formal, ending with, "We require verification of your mission-ness." Church actually responded, informing Caboose of how he couldn't get anyone to listen to his warning, since he was speaking Spanish uncontrollably, which of course also came out as Spanish. Caboose, obviously not being able to understand either, lied to Tucker that Church wanted to talk to him instead. Suddenly, Sheila was activated, and her introduction voice message played. Tucker could only simply react by saying, "Oh shit, we got trouble." Tex was done. Back at Red Base, Church tried a warning with the simple Spanish words, "Un tanque grande," in hopes someone would understand, but Griff's only response was an immigrant rant on how people living in a country should speak its native language. Simmons retorted Griff's nonsense by clarifying that they're on an alien planet, not a country, leading Griff to sarcastically question Simmons if he's a communist who thinks they shouldn't be divided. This conversation was swiftly ended by Sheila's cannon firing, causing Griff, Simmons, and Church to all say, "Son of a bitch," despite Church saying it in Spanish. Meanwhile, Caboose was watching Sheila, who was being driven by Tex, fire through the sniper rifle, causing Tucker to complain once again how he never gets to use the sniper rifle, asking Caboose what he was seeing. Caboose simply replied jokingly that he could see Church getting mad at them since he didn't warn him in time, with Tucker joking back that was a nice change of pace. Back at the Red Base, Griff and Simmons had took shelter in the same ramps they had the last time the tank attacked, and Sarge had just hopped in the Warthog, radioing Simmons to get ready to take the gunner position when he came by. Simmons replied, confirming he was ready, with Griff clarifying happily that he was just going to stay on the ramp. Simmons jokingly responded with an order for Griff to make sure the ramp was guarded, stating it was vital to their success. Simmons then swiftly mounted the gunner position as Sarge drove by the outside of the ramp, and the two of them raced toward the tank. Sarge tried to explain his plan, but the Warthog was blown to smithereens in 5 seconds, with Sarge and Simmons barely escaping in time, running back to the ramp. Griff instantly made fun of both of them for how quick they were defeated, jokingly asking if they won the war that fast. Simmons actually agreed with Griff for once, accusing Sarge of rushing into battle too fast before a plan was communicated, jokingly suggesting he should finish telling him his plan now, after they were already defeated. Sarge, momentarily having an equal hatred for both Simmons and Griff, coldly responded that if they survived this tank, he would kill both of them himself, slowly. As the tank continued firing, Griff sarcastically whispered to Simmons that at least he completed his job of securing the ramp. Donut then walked up to the top of the base from the other ramp, asking what the rest of the team was doing in hiding. Griff caught him up to speed, informing him of Tex's return. Donut, getting fired up, questioned if Tex was the one who stuck the grenade to his head, with Simmons confirming, and further asked if she was the reason he was stuck in his lightish red armor, to which Griff confirmed, although begged him to just say pink since it was faster, even though he respected and understood Donut's desire to safeguard his masculinity. Fed up with all the pink armor harassment, Donut laughs evilly as he walks to the edge of the base, claiming he's been wanting to do something as he yells across the canyon at Tex, calling her a bitch, asking if she remembered him, and informing her that he saved her something as he pulls out the same kind of grenade Tex used and throws it. Griff, Simmons, Caboose, Tucker, and Church all watch in amazement as the grenade flies across the canyon at amazing height and speed, almost superhuman, with Tucker commenting how good of an arm that girl has, still oblivious to Donut's actual identity. The grenade lands directly on Tex, causing her to shout, "Aw, crap!" as Donut celebrates, screaming, 3 points, you dirty whore! The grenade then explodes, destroying Sheila and severely injuring Tex, leading Church to cry out in panic, still in Spanish, and run towards the wreckage of the tank. Griff, Simmons, and Sarge observe this, with Griff questioning where Lopez is going. Unaware of Lopez's true identity, obviously. Sarge answers presumptuously, assuming that Lopez is going to bravely fight Tex head-on if she's still alive, mano-a-mano in hand-to-hand combat. Sarge commends Lopez's presumed bravery, calling him a brave little compadre, and stating that even though he could never understand what he said, he knew he hated Griff, which was the most important thing anyway. Simmons then suggested going to help Lopez fight, but Sarge simply shouted his goodbye to Lopez, "Adios, amigo," stating they would ruin Lopez's moment of glory if they helped. Church had now arrived at Tex's side, who was on the verge of death. She saw him standing over top of her and Lopez's body, so clarified that he was actually Church, before thanking him, informing him that the AI in her head was gone, as she said hurt Blark and died. Back on the cliff, Tucker panicked, knowing Church was going to be pissed at both Tex's death and them, and now he could physically harm them with Lopez's body, so he suggested that he and Caboose better get back to base. Caboose, who was weirdly turned the other way, turned towards Tucker, simply reminding him that his name wasn't Caboose, his name was O'Malley, in a new, creepy, deep, evil voice. Val Dea by Chikataro plays in the background as the credits play.